well, our runners are going to be doing. But yeah, so off we go.
That's right. We find a piece of heart in Link's house. Right away, our runners can dash, just like you mentioned. And if they want, they can perform a clip right away. We'll see what's on Hylia Island. Just 10 arrows. So we'll ignore that for now.
And one of the common starts here is Glan is going to Sahasrahla with the boots. You can just bonk open the back, and so some runners may choose to go over here real quick and see what's in Saha's closet before they move on to other things.
Mm-hmm. There's no progression in Sahasrahla or at Link's uncle. ObscureLifeForm does get the magic for some, just some, not refill, but resources to begin with.
Yeah, definitely nice to have those bombs. You're always looking for an early, at least 3-pack of bombs so that you can do the full clear of Kakariko Town. And ObscureLifeForm picking up a new shirt as well as Glan. So we've got blue mail already. And Obscure may skip the lumberjack check here, but Glan looks like he's going to go for it. So we'll see what is on the mushroom spot here. It's just 10 arrows. And we got 20 bucks in the Thieves' Hideout, and let's see if AGA 1 is required. Nope, it's just 50 bucks. So pretty much the only way that AGA 1 is required is if there's a required item for progression, such as if Kana Samaria is on there and Misery Mire is a crystal. So we have ObscureLifeForm does not have bombs, so it's going to start at the south end of Kakariko Town. I'm going to check the bar first. So we haven't seen anything yet, but sometimes after Kakariko Town, some people go desert, depending on what they have, or some people will go up to Death Mountain. So after we get this Kakariko clear, we'll see where our runners are going to head next.
Hey, the Moon Pearl is in Kakariko Village. So that's a free Moon Pearl in this seed. Sometimes the Moon Pearl can be found in the Dark World. Not this seed, however. The Book of Mudora is also in Blind's Hut.
Yep, and that is pretty much only required if you need to check tablets.
That's right. Our runners can clip into Desert Palace from the Light World, from north of it, if they desire.
Or unless you want to just read a good book. Book of Medora. It's got a lot of fun stuff in it.
I should borrow it. And there's a bottle with a green potion in the inside of the well. So Glan can also check Sick Kid. I know he's a fan of the green, so we'll see what he does with that.
Yeah, potions are used for more than just safeties in Overworld glitches. There's some YBAs that you can pull off that for various uses that could provide some beneficial effects.
That's right. In Overworld glitch logic, you're expected to perform clips, like we mentioned, going out of bounds. You are not expected to use bottles to perform glitches, but you can if you like, because all glitches in the Overworld, except Overworld EG, are allowed.
Yeah, I would compare YBAs in terms of using them. Basically, it's kind of like darkroom logic. You don't have to do dark rooms, but can be very useful to do those dark rooms. And YBAs are kind of the similar mindset.
Yeah, it's depends on the situation. And ObscureLifeForm clipped south, and Glan is doing it as well. He's going to do a downward teleport by boots clipping it into the wall, and it gives him sort of a downward push, and then he's able to hop down into the desert area.
Yep, so our runner's getting a high five here and finding out that the hammer is in Eastern Palace. That's a pretty nice hint. Usually they are not so helpful, but that one, I think our runners will be headed over there.
Yeah, that is very interesting. That is a case where the hint would affect my routing. I would certainly go to Eastern before getting the bow in this case, if the bow doesn't show up very quickly.
But there is no reason right now to be hasty, so they may not head over there just yet. There's various ways they can route that in, and the hammer is really not going to provide a whole lot of benefit at the moment, as opposed to just routing in your normal checks. But it would be a weapon. So Glan is going to buy some bombs here, and ObscureLifeForm is going to go check Sahasrah's closet and probably head into Eastern at that point.
That seems likely. Glan is doing a clip, perhaps? He was setting up on a diagonal wall, but was chased away by a guard.
Yeah,
We'll see where he goes here. Could be interesting. He might go to Hobo. He might go to Ice Rod Cave. I'm not quite sure.
So we are getting the hobo check here. And it's just 20 rupees. So ObscureLifeForm, I'm going to go get that hammer. And Glan, let's see, has 357 rupees, so... but does have the Moon Pearl, so may go to Waterfall and check the Zora Ledge?
Oh yeah, that's a good point. Since they do have Moon Pearl, the logic does expect them to be able to fake Flipper and get a standing water link state. Not only major glitches, but also minor glitches may be required. And oddly, some minor glitches in the Underworld are also required. It may be possible that Underworld Bunny Revival is required. Hey, that's required. So Glan sees the mirror on Zora Ledge. So we'll see what he does here. What is he going to do?
Haiku type, yes, he could clip to that. But maybe he's gonna store a water walk?
Oh, yeah, that's a good theory. Glan may be setting up a fake flipper, sort of a Boots water walk here in Ice Rod Cave, and then he may be doing a fake flipper Pearl water walk. So he'll be able to store the Boots water walk. So we'll see him do another fake flipper here. We didn't even mention that before, but he's going to transition right after landing into the water. And that gives him false flippers.
So Handpan's live asking, how does fake flipper work? Basically, the game checks at intervals if Link has the flippers or not when he lands in the water. And if you screen transition on the same frame that you land in the water, it doesn't give the game time to check for those flippers. So then when you transition, it just won't check anymore.
So Glan is doing this elaborate routing because he just wants to jump off the waterfall like that, going from one water walk state to a different water walk state. Let's see, he would be able to check Zora, I believe, if he had the money. But because he didn't, he could just get the Moon Pearl. It would have probably been faster for him to just clip right in front of the mirror and then check Ice Rod Cave later, but this is just sort of how he went about it.
It's possible that he doesn't know how to do that specific clip, so that could be why we didn't see it, or maybe just felt
That's
more
possible.
comfortable.
That's possible, but unlikely, because I know Glan is well experienced in the various clips. So now we have South Shore checks from both runners. ObscureLifeForm has to be a bit careful. Alright, so with one bomb left, Obscure gets through.
So that's interesting. I noticed that Obscure does not seem to have the hammer. I wasn't paying attention to Eastern.
Right.
So
Yeah.
does that mean it's on Armos?
Yeah, unfortunately. And it will be interesting to see if Glan takes the same bait. He's hesitating. It looks like Glan may do it. I want to see if he does Eastern Clip. He is. So Glan is taking a bit of a shortcut. He's just going to do his downward teleport to move him into a place where he can jump off of the bottom of the map onto the top of the screen, rather. Just a couple of hops there, and now he's in front of Eastern Palace, and now he's walking up into it. Okay, so ObscureLifeForm wanted to perhaps get some fairies or something. Okay. He doesn't get a Boots Water Walk. He runs out of hearts there, so he's saving and quitting out. So what's next for our runners? I might think that they're going to Death Mountain soon. That might be where progression lies.
Yeah, it looks like Obscure is headed that way.
Right, he does not have the gloves, but he doesn't need them. He doesn't have the lamp, but that's okay. May get a lumberjack check in. He may do what's called a DMA, a Death Mountain Ascent. And that will involve teleport, and we'll see what he does here. Yes, he's going to do the classic DMA. It's an upward teleport. He's getting himself into a position where he just clips up, and then he's able to screen transition to the right, putting him on Death Mountain. But now he has to scroll the camera without dying from falling cabbages, and he makes it in. So now he has to be very careful. The mountain, the old man cave here is can be dangerous if you're at one heart and you fall into a hole. It is necessary to go into if you've wrapped the camera. Oh no, he's fallen. Oh, he has a fairy in a bottle. Right, that was from the Kakariko well? No, that was a green potion. Huh.
The fairy in the bottle came from the dam.
Oh, okay. Nice. All right. So when he comes out of Old Man's Cave, he will have corrected the camera. So there he goes. He can continue the game like normal. Getting really bullied, but that's how it goes. And he gets a third bottle. And Glan is on his way to Death Mountain as well. Or Glan is doing a clip to do something else. What is he going to do? He's changing his mind. I think he wants to go to Escape. I'm not sure. He was going to do a river clip to get him to the castle, but instead he's taking the normal route. We do see Bombo's medallion on top of Spectacle Rock. That's something our runners could clip too.
Interesting that ObscureLifeForm left without checking East Death Mountain.
I'm wondering where he's going.
Looks like probably Zora area at this point.
Yep. Yeah, he's setting up for fake flippers as well.
Nice tree pull.
Right, it looks like tier 2 tree pull is 24 bombs. Or 32. Nice.
We're expected to talk about glitches, not expected to do math. So Glan is going to play with the guards and drop some bombs. Our runners still do not have a reliable weapon. Bombs is it.
Right, and what are they hoping to find? I mean, anything.
Yeah.
A sword would speed them up a lot. It would really help with combat. Yeah. A bow would let them get into Eastern Palace to get the hammer.
Yeah.
But what will be progression?
Pretty much, having Mirror and Moon Pearl, that's pretty big. So at this point, yeah, I would say a weapon is the biggest thing.
Mm-hmm.
And Obscure Lifeform is going to clip. Oh, got hit by the Zora and lost Water Walk.
Right. Well, this was a good decision for him. And escape was a good decision for Glan. He's got the sword. And he's got the mirror. He's going to check the sewers. Yeah. So Obscure Lifeform was sort of knocked out of a clip. Whenever our runners do that, they do need to watch out for Zora's fireballs. And he's doing a Death Mountain climb here. He's gonna sort of do a downward teleport and then wiggle to the right, circling the D-pad to get him over, and it allows him to jump over to the right. He sees a cape. Now, will he get that? Not right now. He's skipping the floating island and going to Spiral Cave.
Yeah. Ultimately, cape is a luxury because we can get to Bumper Ledge without it. So it's just basically, if you want the cape, you can go get it. If you don't need to.
Mm-hmm. It may indicate Spike Cave or something like that, but we'll see. And there is the lamp waiting in Spiral Cave. So this is good. This is still Sphere 1 for our runners. They've found a sword. They've found a lamp. These are kind of adding together to make Tower of Hereful clearable, once they both find the other's item, of course.
Ooh, that's unfortunate for Obscure Lifeform. Went to go do Paradox, but didn't have any bombs, so no way to kill the mini Moldorms and no way to get into the bottom section.
Right. Now with boots, there are different ways to kind of farm up with bombs. If they had gloves, they could start picking up some rocks. If they wanted, they could teleport to the back of Graveyard Ledge. They have 800 rupees or some odd number for them to buy bombs. And by the way, Glan performed a spin speed clip to get him to the east side. So he navigated a bit differently using this sort of lower route.
Yeah, with those walls that are kind of one best way to describe it, I guess, is like one section thin, like up around the border of Turtle Rock here. You can either clip all the way through them, or you can use spin speed on the corners, and it'll just let you just walk right off.
So this has been an interesting route for Obscure. He doesn't have a weapon, and he doesn't have a mirror. So the Dark World is pretty treacherous. And he's setting up on this Lionel screen. It looks like he wants to go into Turtle Rock. This could be quite interesting. But he's trying to bait the Lionel so it doesn't bother him anymore. He's probably practiced this glitch, so he knows exactly what to do once he gets into position. It's just that, how do you get rid of the Lionel?
Yeah, no doubt. Those Lionels can be quite annoying.
And ObscureLifeForm is using a more recent setup to glitch into Turtle Rock. It was something that was found last year by Brahmin Meat, and he will be sort of scrolling the screen in a surprising way if he gets it.
Yeah, the interesting thing about Turtle Rock is that, well, we've got a cape, we've got a lamp, and we've got the Cane of Samaria was in Paradox Cave, so Laser Bridge is in Logic.
It's in Logic if the big key is not fire rod blocked.
True.
Right. And I did miss that cane. That must have been on the left half of Paradox Cave. I missed those three.
It was in the second chest to the left.
So, ObscureLifeForm is making progress now. The Turtle Rock clip did not work out properly, so he's doing escape instead. It's pretty nice that our runners found Spiral Cave's lamp first before going into Tower of Hera. It seems to be a lamp-blocked big key. Uh-oh. But ObscureLifeForm is going backwards through escape. This will not get him anywhere, unfortunately. He's going back toward a shutter door. Okay. So what the issue was that ObscureLifeForm wanted to check escape. I suppose he wanted to just start with sewers, but he couldn't really do that.
Well, you can death warp out of there.
Yeah, he could have death warped. It would have been nice if he had mirror. He does know where to get it. It's just I'm not sure he has a plan to get it yet. So we'll see what he does. Meanwhile, Glan is fighting Moldorm, NMG style. He's got the boots, he's got the fighter sword. Oh, but he takes a fall.
And in true NMG style, you get to take a fall of Moldorm at least once.
Yeah. It's the worst boss.
Glan making nice use of dashes. If you dash at Moldorm, you can actually go through his body and hit the tail if you're accurate enough. You just got to be careful not to dash yourself off the edge.
Right, and dashing, he gets him down too.
So Obscure is going back with some more bombs. We'll be able to access Paradox Cave now, and we'll be able to at least get some form of weapon. With half magic, Cane of Samaria will do for now. And we have a book, so we can read what's on this tablet here. So, Ether tablet just got 10 arrows.
Right, and there lies Bomba's tablet. Glan's going to do a downward teleport and appear at the top of the rock. And there he goes.
Yep, our medallions are only required for Misery Mire. Turtle Rock does not require a medallion unless you somehow lock yourself into having to open the front door.
Uh-huh.
Alright, so we got green on Pod, 5 on Skull Woods, and I believe a pendant on Swamp.
That's right. And Glan performed spin speed. He got into a spin speed state. This allowed him to simply push off of Death Mountain, and he can descend it. It's called a DMD.
Yeah, when you walk off that corner, the key thing is you need to bonk upwards before you press down, otherwise you will get stuck.
Glan's first destination is Village of Outcasts. Meanwhile, ObscureLifeForm is using the cane to make progress through escape.
And Obscure will probably be happy to see what's at the end of this escape.
For sure. If anything, it'll give him more offensive power to deal with the Zoras. So he may be going for that mirror soon. We'll see.
Yeah, and I always like to call the first sword the seed gives you the courtesy sword, because it does help with those spin speed clips, while you can, for some of them, just simply clip through the wall anyway. It does help speed things up if you could just spin speed and walk right off.
Right, it not only speeds things up, but it also may be in logic. So Sword will tell you whether the Dark World is accessible sometimes.
So, as you said, it does look like ObscureLifeForm is going to go for that mirror again, has that sword in hand.
And how does the sword tell you to search the Dark World? Well, it's a clue. What we saw Glan do is, well, he's searching the Dark World right now. He does not have the gloves and he does not have the hammer. But the logic, by having the Moon Pearl and having a sword, we know that the game does expect us to get into a spin speed state, which you can only do with the hook shot or the sword. So the sword or the hook shot even can allow us to get into a spin speed state, and that gives easy access to the Dark World. There are other ways to get here. A careful boots clip can get you here, but the sword puts this area in logic. Glan does a nice bomb throw to clear the Zazak and skeleton room. He has no gloves to get around. And here we go. ObscureLifeForm is doing the clip. It takes 2 hops to sort of land on dry land. And Glan finds the sword upgrade. Uh-oh, wrong way. So, ObscureLifeForm gets his mirror. Glan is on his way out of Thieves Town.
Yeah, Glan experiencing something that's common in overworld glitches. A lot of times, since the glove is required for very few things in overworld glitches, sometimes it can be a while before you find your first pair.
That's right. Sometimes you get a gloves go mode. Because gloves are required to access Cold Stare. So Glan is now on blind. He flawlessly defeats him, as far as I could tell.
Yep. And so down goes Blind and Obscure Lifeform now in Hera.
Obscure Lifeform uses that cane to grant him iframes. And you can slow down for a second here. I didn't catch whether there was anything in the big chest of Thieves Town. Did you catch that?
I did not.
So that's a maybe.
Alright, so Obscure is just gonna grab the big key from here and head on up. Glan is going to do the dig game. And we get a bolt coin, so yet another medallion to add to our arsenal. And it looks like Glan is gonna go check out the Mire area and see what we need to open Misery Mire. So it is Bombos. So we've got just the one medallion that's up on Spectacle Rock there that we need, and that's it.
That's right. And even if our runners decide that they need to open the front of Turtle Rock, they can do that as well. Obscure Lifeform did make a quick check of that medallion.
So Glan has the Cane of Samaria. Could go in and full clear this.
Yeah, that looks like the thing to do now.
Yeah, I mean, even if you're even if a runner is not the greatest against Vitreous, we do have a free blue potion that we got from the old man, so there's a little safety there as well.
That's true. It's good to keep in mind. And did Glan use his fairy?
I do not think so, so got that too.
And Glan is in the Mire Desert area, so it's kind of interesting he didn't clear Desert first or any of the rest of the overworld. He's just going straight into Mire.
Well, if you're really confident against Vitreous, I say, you know, why not? Because it's something that's required, and there's 2 items here, and you can always just do Desert in kind of any order that you want. Desert Mire.
Right. and Desert is a pendant, but I wouldn't be surprised if Glan... Well, I guess I would be surprised. We'll see what happens. Uh-oh. Glan faced a bit of indecision.
It looks like ObscureLifeForm is in the Dark World now, so we'll see what they're gonna do with their newfound freedom. Looks like probably a King's Tomb and Graveyard Ledge.
Not a bad call. Glan finds the hook shot in Misery Mire.
Very nice. But we don't have the bow, so we're missing the more important piece of the puzzle when it comes to accessing left side GT, which is the hammer.
That's correct. Ganon's Tower has something like 27 chests, so it is a likely place for progression or your go mode items. But hammer locks a lot of it. So, and the hookshot does as well, logically speaking.
Yeah, there are ways you can hover or bomb jump across the bridge. Well, the little floating islands south of DM room, but. Bam7503 asks a question. Can you use overworld glitches to get into GT without all the crystals? Yes, and it is often required.
Right. A lot of overworld clips are the same. So when I say they do a downward teleport and a hop, a lot of those inputs are the same. With Ganon's Tower, it's just a little bit different. It's not very difficult. It just takes memorization to just remember the inputs. But it is expected too. So it's just a little bit different. And we'll see our runners go into GT at sometime soon, probably. Not always, but usually. They'll do it before they have 7 crystals. Even if they do have 7 crystals, it is potentially faster to clip into GT. A very nice eyeball fight from Glan. He just needs to deal with the big eye.
Hand pans, the minimum to get into GT is technically pretty much nothing. But if you go into GT without hammer or Cane of Samaria, your options of checking things are very limited.
Right. The only item logically needed is the Moon Pearl. And Glan earns his next crystal.
Meanwhile, ObscureLifeForm checking out Hype Cave. There is a sword there, so that's very nice for Obscure. We got a Spagnet and some more health. So, not the worst, but not the greatest.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting. I think it's likely we'll see a Thieves play before a Misery Mire play, so we'll see if perhaps a Tempered Sword fight from Obscure once he gets to Vitreous.
So did Glan skip a chest?
Yes, he didn't do the left side of Misery Mire, so he's going back.
Oh, he didn't do the cutscene. And Obscure using one of the ways to get into the mire area.
Right. And we do see a messed up screen when our runners clip into Misery Mire because the game doesn't know how to load the rain sprites coming from a screen transition. But once he goes in and out of a cave or presses X, this can be fixed.
So Glenn sitting through that nice little cutscene of some rumbling. Gonna go check this hint, and a unique item is on Magic Bat. That could be interesting. So we're gonna need mushroom or powder at the very least to check that. And Glenn did not hit up the right side, so I was gonna check that real quick here.
So my guess was wrong. ObscureLifeForm is going to Misery Mire before Thieves Town. So
Yep.
he and Glan are sort of at the same level here, dealing with Mire and Vitreous.
Yeah, the hook shot will be nice. It speeds certain things up, and if you can't hover, it does give you full access to Hookshot Cave.
I'm trying to remember if Glan went to Agina's cave. I don't remember it.
I do not either. I don't think he checked Bombo's tablet either.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking.
But it's gonna go ahead and check this dig spot, and it's just a piece of heart.
And we get Cave 45 checked at 47 minutes in. That sometimes we'll see Cave 45 as an early check since it's just a couple of screens away from Link's house, and just involves a boots clip. But here we go. Glan is going back to the desert overworld. We'll see what he finds.
Alright, so just a pack of bombs, and I assume he'll go to Bombo's tablet as well?
That's right.
And some more bombs.
Alright, so what's next for Glan?
Looks like Hype Cave.
Oh yeah, that's probably true. And I wonder if he'll be taking... Let's see, what would be after that? What else is open? We've got Skull Woods, we've got Palace of Darkness, we've got Turtle Rock. You know, I don't think there's a clear direction here.
Yeah, this is where you gotta one of the points where you start making some decisions, because I mean, Pod has a lot of items, but it's a pendant. Glan could go to... actually, Glan could go to Ice Palace after this. But doesn't look like he's going to.
Right. That's
No hammer,
not
but...
not clearable. But nothing's clearable, so who knows? Another option is Hookshot Cave. That's 4 free items. Our runners cannot get the hammer yet because it is bow blocked. So they will need to find the bow first.
Glan might be going to GT here. Nope. East Death Mountain. Hasn't checked this yet. If I recall, there wasn't really anything in Super Bunny.
No, there was nothing in Super Bunny Cave.
So Glan may...
He wants to go to Hookshot Cave first, so he's going to do a screen wrap. He's going to do one clip to get him onto this weird little island, and then that he can hop from that to the top of the screen. This is the newest clip that is in Logic. Oh, he wants the cape. He's going to get that first while he's here.
I don't even know if he checked that and found the cape.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I know
curious.
ObscureLifeForm did, but
I'm kind of, because I know Glan checked Spiral Cave, but I don't know. ObscureLifeForm, he's got a blue potion, so he's using that to equip him before Vitreous. So he will need to use these 10 hearts wisely as he fights.
Yep. And looks like to be doing okay so far.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of okay to get hit by the lightning, you just don't want to get hit by any eyeballs.
Right, with Blue Mail they do 3 hearts of damage. Alright, so Glan is on his way to Turtle Rock. He does a spin speed clip to simply hop the ledge.
Yeah. And I would not be surprised if there's something in Turtle Rock at this point, given that you've got Kane, you've got a cape, and you've got the lamp.
Yes, that's true. All of those things may indicate Laser Bridge, like you mentioned earlier. We've been finding progression in Turtle Rock quite often this tournament. The first item found is red mail. ObscureLifeForm defeats Vitreous, so he's got his crystal.
So there's a small key, and so if the big key shows up in the compass chest, Glan can then go check the big chest and check Laser Bridge.
But no big key. And no hammer, so we cannot check Mimic Cave either.
I'm not sure what Obscure was trying to do. Maybe the quicker Hera clip there ended up falling down and auto-walking.
Oh, right. It looks like ObscureLifeForm is going to. Yeah, they've got it. They're this sort of movement at the top of that cave allows a clip onto the heavy rock, and they can check King's Tomb by sort of hopping onto it. And for some reason, when you're between a heavy rock and a bush, you're allowed to pick up the rock. It sort of confuses the game into believing that you can just pick up anything.
All right, so Glan is in GT. Yeah, I was confused because I thought Obscure had checked King's Tomb when they checked Graveyard Ledge, so I wasn't sure what they were doing.
Oh, right. That's a really good point. Meanwhile, Glan is performing sort of a resource glitch while you sort of grab a wall. For some reason, Cape does not drain magic. So, wow, Glan cannot make progress in Ganon's tower. What does this seed want from us? Turtle Rock was nothing. Ganon's tower was nothing. Without hammer, glove, fire rod, bow, it's hard to figure out what to do.
I would say that the seed is gonna. I say we're gonna find the bow as our first thing.
Oh wow, Glan just performed a sort of a mirror wrap DMD. This one's pretty hard to explain, but he used a mirror at the same time that he transitioned into a specific pixel while screen wrapped, and it allowed him to sort of descend the mountain.
Yeah, that seems like one of those do not try this at home.
Yeah,
glitches.
it's one of those things that I forgot is faster, but it's very fast.
Yeah, because in a state like that, you could easily mess it up, and you set yourself with a infinite screen wrap where the screen scrolls, trying to load the next transition, but it doesn't know what to load, so it just continues scrolling.
That's exactly it. Glan did a save and quit beforehand, I believe, so if he had messed it up, nothing would be lost. And could it be nothing's in Skullwoods either? We get an ice rod hint, at least, but it's any of multiple hammer block locations.
Yeah. Let's see. I guess we haven't seen Pyramid or Catfish, so there is that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, those things could be checked together. And then Palace of Darkness. And it's sort of, that feels like it to me, but there might be other things as well. as far as I can remember. Or think of at this moment.
Yeah, basically our next item is gonna have to be kind of something, like a bow or a fire rod or something that's gonna give us a bit more progression here. Because while we can get into Ice Palace, it's not in logic. So I would have to say that pyramid, catfish, or pod, yeah, that's gotta be kind of it.
Glan is performing an interesting screen wrap to give him access to Hyrule Castle. Let's see where he goes from here. It's correcting his camera, so he's got himself pyramid access. Did we see a pyramid fairy check, however?
We saw a hint, and it
Oh,
was
yes.
nothing.
You're right. I forgot about that. So Glan is making his way toward Palace of Darkness.
It'll be interesting to see what's in the first chest.
Mm-hmm.
Because if it's not a key and not the bow, that'll be very interesting.
Yeah, did we get a catfish check yet?
Nope.
Right, that's the only other location I can think of. I bet it's Fire Rod. I mean, actually, it's most likely a key, but I bet we'll find Fire Rod. Let's see. It's a ruby.
That is very interesting.
Yeah. Now Glan is thinking, is he going to use Glanon Pot, a glitch he discovered to get past the mimics? It looks like it. So this is a sequence break, bypassing bow. He gets the hint, and he's continuing onward.
Yeah, it looks like he's gonna decide, well, I came all the way here, so I'm gonna get something.
To answer your question, yes, the runners did do Sick Kid. They found a bottle in the well.
And ObscureLifeForm is dancing in the tile room here, so Glade gets a small key and another small key. So at least can access some more items. I think Glenn is hoping to find any form of progression. Obviously, it's not going to be the bow, but I think he will probably go to Catfish at this point to see what progression lies there, because could be the bow or it could be more progression. But I think Catfish is all we really have left.
Right. There's still 2 gloves somewhere in this seed. And either one of them will be helpful. They need Fire Rod to clear Skull Woods and Turtle Rock. They need the Ice Rod. These items could be here. But Ice Rod will not be here because it's blocked by Hammer. I mean, so Glan won't find it at the moment.
Well, it could be here if Bo is on Catfish.
Uh-huh. But the Hammer blocks the Ice Rod according to a hint.
Right, so you could get the Bow on Catfish, do Eastern, get the Hammer, and then come back here.
That's true.
But the only thing locked by Hammer here is Helmasaur King, so we may not even have an item on Helmasaur King.
Right, but there's and then there's the green pendant, so who knows?
So,
ObscureLifeForm is finally in Thieves Town. A tempered sword can be found here. Not much else, however.
and Pod was pretty empty as well.
Yes. So what is Glan's next move? I wonder if it's a catfish check, a catfish DMD.
Yeah, I think that would be the fastest way over there at this point. Handpan's the only spot left that we can think of as Catfish, so it's gonna have something.
And did we clear Desert Palace of both items?
I believe so.
Right, so there's no incentive to defeat Linmolas. So here we go. Glan is doing a catfish DMD. It's just a spin speed clip, and he holds down to transition. And let's see what we get here. A red rupee.
Oh!
Here it is.
Did Obscure go get Zora? No. I don't think so. I don't think
Yeah, this
either
has
of them
gotta
had
be
the
the
money
answer.
when they came over here. I forgot about that.
Mm-hmm.
What a seed.
What would be pretty funny here is flippers, but it is the flippers. There's only one spot that opens.
Okay, so off we go to Swamp to check one whole chest.
Now, Glan is getting to Swamp Palace in an interesting way. Oh no, he's not. He's doing something else.
Maybe we didn't get both items. I thought we did. Maybe they just didn't want to go in for the second one.
ObscureLifeForm also attempts pickup of a heavy rock. It's the problem with this room is you have to go past it twice. You have to remember that you don't have gloves the first time, and then you have to remember the second time.
Steed is quite the comedian.
Yeah, I should have remembered that Zora was still available. Given our runner's issues with rupees,
Yeah.
the diversion to get the mirror.
I mean, we saw Obscure go there a couple times, and Glan went there, so I mean, it's easy to assume that they just checked Zora at some point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but they know what they're doing. Okay. There was an item at Landmola's. And so this item Glan lasts locations this progression. He lasts 2 locations, potentially progression. Flippers is sort of a strange find because Swamp Palace is open. And Swamp Palace is a crystal. But there is a unique item at the Magic Bat. Not only was there a hint, but it seems like one of the only items left. Locations.
Let's cross our fingers and hope for mushroom.
The magic powder is a fetch quest. It opens only one spot here. And Glan needed to, well, he didn't need to, but because he could have mirrored from Dark World, but from Light World, he needed to do a clip past the screen transition and kind of scroll himself over to the magic bat. And it is the bow, which is what we've been longing for. At
Actually,
an hour.
He had to do that because we don't have any gloves, so we can't even get mirror there from the Dark World.
Oh, that's an interesting point. However, maybe he could have swum from the moat by clipping into it.
Yeah, I just remembered that as soon as I said that he needed to get, he couldn't get there. But yeah, you can do that clip as well.
Mm-hmm.
So this is probably gonna go fast from here. We're gonna get the hammer, and then the hammer locks the ice rod. I don't know if Glan got that one. I don't remember what that was. But either way, so we've got a bow and a hammer, so that's gonna speed things up quite a bit. We'll be able to check GT. We'll be able to clear Aga 2.
That's right. It looks like we're getting a pedestal check from ObscureLifeForm. Just a heart container.
Hand pans, Obscure always has a chance until, well, like anything could happen. Especially when we're not in go mode. There could be one item that Glan searches for 40 minutes and Obscure finds it right away. So it's still too early to say count anybody out. And oftentimes in overworld glitches, that last item remains the most elusive.
Yeah, I would agree. We just don't know. And there it is, the hammer dropped by a very short Armos fight. So, I've been trying to keep track of spheres. I may make a mistake here, but as far as I can tell, most of the items we've been finding have been sphere 2. In other words, they've been blocked by only one item, the moon pearl. But another sphere 2 item that was just missed was the magic powder. Just because it was at Pendant Desert Palace. So that's the key here. That unlocked the bow, and then bow unlocks hammer. And that seems to be unlocking a lot. It seems to be blocking a lot of items. It's certainly blocking a lot of chest density here in Ganon's Tower. So like you said, things may move quickly.
Alright, we got a couple pieces of heart to start off. So nothing in DM's room, and Glan's gonna continue on, and looks like Obscure is picking up some blue potions, whether that be for safety or other uses. I would say probably safety reasons, based on buying a bunch of blues. Because you can use blues to open the flute travel menu using a YBA.
Right, Dark World Flute. Or Fake Flute. So he may do that. He may also use it to bypass the mimics. We'll see here.
Alright, let's see. Rando room, what you got? Heart container, 10 bombs, 10 arrows, and 5 rupees. Still nothing.
Yeah. The poor 10 bomb. It's a unique item, but it's not even a unique item, according to the hints. There we go. The big chest of Ganon's Tower holds progression for us. The Power Gloves.
So at this point, we just need the rods. Yes.
That's right. That will allow Glan to finish the seed. Logic always requires Mitts to have access to Ice Palace, but that is not going to be something that our runners search for as long as they know how to sequence break into Ice Palace.
And we get a blue cane, and Glan is going to climb the tower. Either just doesn't want to, or isn't comfortable with doing the lamp strats on the right side. I guess you're looking for fire rods, so it wouldn't be on that right side anyway.
Exactly right. And if he knows about the ice rod, then he would know that it is hammer blocked.
I remember one time I was doing a seed. One of my favorite hammer locked hints is the Swamp Palace big key is locked by the hammer.
You don't say. Yeah, Swamp Palace has a couple of hints to help its sort of awkward locations. So that one just is an annoying coincidence.
I suppose it could be in the bombable wall chest, but other than that, it's not very helpful.
Right. And that bombable wall was looking so likely moments ago, but now again is unlikely to have progression.
Alright, so Glan is past the gauntlet. So we will be seeing an Agatu real quick here. Getting a nice little fairy boost, but more importantly, we're going to be seeing 4 chests at the top of this place, and there could be something there. Probably not the ice rod, since it's not hammer locked, but could see the fire rod.
That's true. I think that's true. Glan has 3 keys, so I believe he would be unable to key lock himself, preventing fire rod progression. So in other words, progression could be up here.
So we got a pack of bombs and Quake. And there's our first shield there.
Kind of fascinating.
I believe we saw one earlier that no one just picked up. So the fire rod is elsewhere, but again, with the bow, we've got some more options now. Well, more importantly, the hammer.
Yeah, the glove also opens 3 spots. We didn't see the back of escape, did we?
Yeah. We
did. I'm sorry. So, in other words, it opens one location by itself, the checkerboard cave.
Well, maybe we didn't. I can't remember now. I thought they went all the way through the sewers to get there. But I could be thinking of something else. When you do so many seeds and commentate so many seeds, they all start to blend together. Quick note, the Overworld Glitches tournament has a special little additional feature to the tracker. There is an AGA 1 and an AGA 2 kill on the tracker, so Glan will be able to light up that AGA 2 kill on the tracker. So off he goes. At this point, We need the fire rod, so the answer is not Turtle Rock. And
Could it be Swamp Palace?
it
No.
could be.
No, Glan's going a little bit to the right. So this means he's clipping over and doing a mirror wrap to get into Ice Palace. Interesting.
Yeah, I think maybe he wants to just be able to go mode swamp. Hope the
Well,
fire
Swamp
rod
is
shows
a
up here.
pendant.
Oh yes, never mind.
Yeah, so Glan is hoping there's no progression in Swamp. It could be just another glove to point us toward Ice Palace. He needs to beat Ice Palace anyway. So this makes sense to me.
And Obscure tried to come in from the top. It's a little bit difficult when you don't have the flippers, but luckily Obscure is going to have that problem solved right here.
Yes. So let's see what ObscureLifeForm does. He's probably he has those two options.
Yeah, this could be an important thing here. Obscure is headed. Where did Obscure not do Dark Cross? I thought the Obscure did earlier.
It's a mystery. We'll see what happens. Meanwhile, Glan is doing a bomb jump to get himself through Ice Palace.
Okay, so Back of Escape has not been seen yet. Obscure did give us a confirmation of that because that door is locked. So Obscure is going to have to figure out, out of probably 2 item checks that they have left, where to go. And unique items with the chickens.
Yeah, the hints have not been top quality lately.
Well, I'd say you got some pretty good hints today.
Uh-huh. Yes, they've been quite interesting. ObscureLifeForm may have missed Sick Kid earlier, just now picking up those 300 rupees. Looks like they're on their way to Land Mullas, so it should be they should find the solution to the seed pretty quickly here. Progression, rather. And we haven't seen any useful items in Ice Palace yet, have we?
Yeah.
So I've seen the map. I've seen... Here's our big key. Oh, I'm sorry. We have the butter sword now.
Not the type of item Gland was hoping to find, but guess we'll take it.
Mm-hmm.
And the memes continue. The seed gives us our mushroom.
Wow. So that must have been our second item.
it looks like Glan is going to take the long way to Iced Tea.
Correct.
And Obscure, did they not go into Land Mola? I had all eyes on Ice Palace here to see if there's anything interesting.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I suffered the same distraction here. So, we'll find out. I think...
Did they not check
I'm not sure.
45? No?
Well, I think I just missed the Land Mola's fight because we did see Obscure clip into desert. So I think what happened is Obscure has to figure out how to get to the magic bat. I think that might be what's happening here.
No, there's...
Oh, there's no powder.
Yeah, there's
Oh,
no
I'm
powder.
sorry. Sorry, I was...
Okay, so this could...
Totally
okay,
wrong.
so this is what Obscure is doing. Okay, so they are going into the first chest of swamp, which could be important. We could have Fire Rod here.
Huh. Well, I wonder what happened between that desert clip and Land Molas to throw them off here. It may have just been a different decision making.
All right, so Glan pulling out the Fire Rod, so that is definitely not any... So Obscure Lifeform is not going to find any progression here. So Glan is gonna go to Skull Woods, it looks like, but we'll need to figure out what that hint means by locked by the hammer, if he found it. If he didn't find it, Obscure Lifeform still got a chance. But unfortunately, it looks like Obscure Lifeform is gonna try to get into ice, which is not really gonna lead them to anything because I think all the items were hammer locked.
Right. The thing we don't know, since Glan cleared Ice Palace, is what does the mushroom lead to? I don't think Glan checked it. And question in chat, flute, last item. In this mode, flute is not progression. Our runners can perform overworld glitches and clip past the barrier of Misery Mire. They can clip anywhere in the overworld. So the flute is not necessary progression.
We know our hint is Ice Rod is locked by the hammer. Not sure if there's an item on Helmasaur King, but that's one option. The other option is another option is hammer pegs. We know it's not on left side GT because we've been there already. Where else?
Well, there's the Hammer Peg Cave, Mimic Cave, and Spike Cave.
Does that technically apply as well to Turtle Rock? or
No, it doesn't. In the hint system, sort of, it leaves out Turtle Rock, and it leaves out Turtle Rock in the no glitches logic as well. So that is something to know for the no glitches hint system as well.
Yeah, so Spike, Mimic, Hammer Pegs, Helmosaur King.
And did you mention Swamp Palace?
Yes. So yeah, there's also the entirety of, well, most of the Swamp Palace items, except for
Right.
the heart piece that ObscureLifeForm found.
Yeah.
So I don't think that Glan got that hint because it looks like he's checking other things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's checking the pedestal, so Glan doesn't know that the ice rod is locked by the hammer, so that could be important, but there aren't a whole lot of locations left, and okay, the mushroom wasn't locked, hammer locked, so that'll lead ObscureLifeForm in the wrong direction as well. But yeah, so when do you think Glan goes to hammer pegs at least?
Right now. Well, we'll see. If it were me, I would do a mirror wrap to bypass the Mitz blocked rock. But Glan is not going to do that. We'll see what's next for him.
Because Pod is just a, I don't know, because if it's on Helmosaur King, I feel like he might last location there.
Yeah, right. And if I didn't know about the hammer hint, then you know, who knows? I really have no idea what I would do here. Maybe more Turtle Rock, Ganon's Tower. I'm not quite sure.
I think I would go to Swamp. Maybe not do left side, but go to Swamp. Because it's probably it's the densest location of items that you have left. Oh! ObscureLifeForm got the mushroom. They don't need the powder.
Oh, this is good. This is a really good... Why didn't I think of that? This is really good for Obscure.
Yeah.
Meanwhile,
we could have a race.
Meanwhile, Glan is opening up the front of Turtle Rock, and he'll get the hint, which is really good. And so he has to stop here and realize he does not need to search Turtle Rock right now, because he knows that in the hint system, that Turtle Rock is not hammer blocked. And yeah, to go back to that explanation, the Turtle Rock is not hammer blocked because it can be it can be available in entrance shuffle as well as glitched logics.
Yeah, but it looks like Glan must not be sure, so is going to double check these two chests here.
Well, it's not just that.
Oh wait, yeah, we need the big key.
He needs a big key, yeah. So might as well get it.
I forgot we don't have the big key.
And good on Glan for remembering that this is a thing that, that will help his route for later.
Yeah, I think he forgot at first because he had left, and then I think he realized, oh wait, I should probably go get the big key.
Right.
So Obscure is going to go get that hammer. And Glan's going to go to Mimic Cave. I think the best thing that Obscure can hope for at this point is that the Ice Rod is on Helmasaur King and they go there first. But that's a very unlikely scenario.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's been a very bottlenecked seed due to the Magic Bat, and now it's an Ice Rod search. So we've got the worst, the most annoying possible problems in Randomizer are kind of happening here. But, that's part of the fun.
Yep, so Glan's going to check Swamp here. And I imagine... I don't know, would you do left side? I think, given the situation, I would. I might have checked Hammer Pegs first before committing to Swamp.
Yeah. I'm not sure what I would do, really. Especially given an hour and 40 minutes into the race. Decisions might fly a little differently.
And Glan just checking the hint, out of muscle memory, because he's got all he needs except for that Ice Rod, and maybe hoping for a second. I don't know if is that possible to have a hint that refers to the same item with two different descriptions.
Probably. I mean, I don't know.
Because I've seen duplicate hints before.
Yeah.
But I don't know how the hint system works.
Yeah. The Ice Rod may be referred to as a unique item, so we didn't get that for the Ice Rod. So maybe that's still in the seed, I don't know.
Yeah, there are a few hint tiles that never end up getting checked, like the Dark Maul.
And not to mention there may be a left side swamp hint, which will tell us specifically what's over there. Kragon, no, I don't believe Spike Cave was checked, so there are overworld locations left. But since Swap Palace is is dense with item locations, it may be the answer.
And it looks like Glan is gonna go to the back and probably gonna head back in if the Ice Rod doesn't show up. This is giving Obscure some time to catch up if the Ice Rod's not here. I don't know. How do you feel? Do you think this seed has been a mean seed?
No, not really. It's been pretty normal. It's just that both of our runners have it just took a while to get to the powder, to the Magic Bat, really. And I was so focused on powder. Gotta go to Lenmolos. But really that wasn't the solution for Obscure. So that was quite interesting.
And speaking of interesting, we got the big key.
Yeah. So, quite likely that we'll see big chest and left side swamp. I'm not quite sure. I have no idea where Ice Rod is. ObscureLifeForm's getting a bit impatient. Clinking sword on rails.
Yeah, I mean, if you get the bow at like an hour 30, and it's required for the hammer, I would be a little impatient myself.
Oh yeah.
And Glan gets the quick kill on Argus, and is rewarded with 20 rupees and a red pendant. So we'll probably head on back in to check the big chest and potentially left side.
Yep.
And that'll be a big debate if the ice rod's not here.
Yeah, basically. Because that, again, bottlenecks us down to only a couple of locations.
So let's see if Obscure makes the same logical... And there it is! The ice rod in the big chest of Swamp. So at 1 hour 46, Glan is finally in go mode.
That's right. As far as I could tell, this was a Sphere 5 ice rod. It wasn't the most deeply packed item, because I think Fire Rod was even further down, even though it was just in the back of Escape. That's from what I can tell anyway. But of course, Swamp was more annoying to get to, and would be the second check, or the later check. All right, so Glan is doing a mirror wrap. Just sort of like Obscure got into Ice Palace, Glan is using it to get into the back of Turtle Rock. And he will most likely find a key here, and then he'll be on his way.
Yeah, it is a good thing for Glan that he decided to check Zora before... there's our Titansmiths. Decided to check Zora before doing the land mole, because...
Oh, that's a really good point.
Those flippers would have been another search if he had not done that first.
Yeah, it would have been a bit interesting. Yeah, I don't know.
Because that could have potentially led him back to GT to do right side.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so... That's not the story today. Obscure is in the gauntlet. And Glan is almost done with Trinex. With Gold Sword, this fight is pretty trivial. Obscure getting one of the landmo. There goes another.
And how will Glan get to Ganon? Oh, a fake flute. Perfect. So Glan used a blue potion on the same frame that he transitioned. And he gets a pink guard. I've never seen that. That put him in a fake Light World state for one screen. But transitioning again, now he's in Dark World.
Handpans, yes, you can change the difficulty in Randomizer. You can find out the details on the Randomizer website. There's a little help section that'll tell you what all the difficulty levels mean.
Right. There's not just like difficulty levels, but logic levels as well. So there are multiple options for play.
Yep. As well as one of my favorite options is Key Sanity, where it shuffles all the keys as well.
And Glan is in the Ganon fight. He's dash poking, or dash using dash strats on Ganon, but he only needed 6 slashes there.
Yep.
Into phase 3 already.
And by shuffles keys, I mean it literally takes all the items, you know, where you can find any other items and shuffles all the dungeon's keys along with that. So it's a bit more of a search. And Ganon asks, did you find the silver arrows in the light world? And Glan will let him know that yes, he did. And Glan getting a double to finish it off. And get your GGs in chat for Glan. Once he crosses a bridge, we'll get the official time. And Glan finishing with an official first place SRL time of 1 hour, 51 minutes, and 43 seconds. Get your GGs in chat for Glan. And it does look like ObscureLifeForm has put in a dot forfeit. So we will try to get both of them in here for an interview.
So our runners will be right with us. GG's to both of them for handling this difficult seed.
And while we are waiting for our runners, if you're looking for more Overworld glitch action, this is alongside the race between Liam Atnalis and Oasi 28, which started at the same time, as our only ones for today. But we are joined by our runners, GG's, and how did you guys feel about that seed?
It was trash.
It's the worst thing I've ever played in my life. So bad.
Oh, that was terrible, yeah. I don't even have words.
I mean,
yes.
even though you got the hints telling you where that hammer was, it was quite the journey to get to it.
Yeah.
It was a funny seed, wasn't it? It was just like, oh, here's all the items that you're going to need, but we're not going to tell you where the items to get progression are.
And that adventure for Hammer is just one piece of the misery, since there was a hint for the ice rod, and at the end of this race it sort of became an ice rod search. And ObscureLifeForm was the runner who found that hint first, and then Glan found it much later. So it was interesting to see Glan's decision making at the end.
I almost made a mistake there. I was just like backed out immediately because I'm like, oh, it's not in Turtle Rock. But I'm like, still need the big key and it's in that room.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I couldn't remember what was in the chicken hut, and because there was that one hint that was like a unique item is with the chickens, and I thought like that could maybe be hammer pegs because there's a lot of chickens there.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
So I was thinking like I kind of wanted to do that before swamp, but I couldn't really think how to get there quickly.
Our friendly tracker pointed out looked like Moon Pearl was Chicken Hut.
Oh yeah, that's right.
The free Moon Pearl.
Mm-hmm.
At least you
And-
guys got that.
How did you all think about Zora?
Oh man,
About getting the flippers.
it wouldn't have been so bad, but having no weapons at the beginning completely threw me.
Mm-hmm.
Like the last couple of days, I've been practicing if I don't find Moon Pearl to make progression still, like with like Flake Flute and all that stuff. But I didn't do any practicing for not having a sword or any kind of weapon for the first 40-50 minutes of the seed. And that just got me. I was dying and falling all over the place.
Yeah, it threw me off too because I forgot to get bombs when leaving Kakariko, and then I couldn't kill the popos in the desert because I had literally no weapon at all.
Yeah, and a similar thing happened to Obscure when he first went to Paradox. Didn't have any bombs to open the bombable wall or fight the Moldorms upstairs.
I ended up going to Eastern, like, kind of after that because I'm like, I'll probably get the hammer. At least that's a weapon. But then I got the hint like, oh, you need fire for the big key in Hera. So I'm like, I can't even do Hera if I get the hammer. So it's just a mess.
I think my problem was, well, I mean, I probably was still quite behind anyway, but I think when I got that hammer hint, I save and quit straight away. And I still had a map, I think it was a map left, and one unique item. And so I went, later on, I came back to Desert Palace, and I looked at my menu and saw that the map was missing. So I was like, oh, so the landmines must have the map. So I quit out of there. And of course, that was the powder.
If I had to actually kind of say what really kind of tilted this in Glan's favor was Glan was much more mobile using overworld glitches, and when this seed had you traveling all over the place, that played a big factor.
Yeah, I can believe that. Like, I know all the glitches enough to get through, but I haven't really practiced like the mobility side of it. But hey, it doesn't take it away. That was a well-deserved victory, getting through that seed.
Yeah.
And also, so what did both of you think was open in your seeds once you found the flippers? Also, part B of this two-part question: what if you hadn't found flippers?
Yeah, that would have been something. Probably would have just looked through Turtle Rock
Mm-hmm.
more.
I think when
Yeah,
got those flippers,
I was debating just going to Swamp before even going to Turtle Rock because there's more items. And like I got the flippers, but I was thinking like, the flippers aren't really like that much of a tell anymore because like I pretty much cleared everything else. It's not like, oh, I got the flippers,
Yeah.
it's pushing me towards Swamp. I just like literally cleared every other item, and it's like they have to be somewhere.
Yeah, and with
yeah, sorry, go ahead.
We were trying to figure out. I don't know if either of you knew if you got all the items out of Pod, because was wondering if Helmasaur King could be a candidate.
I was actually not sure that myself. I don't remember getting the compass, but I might have.
yeah, I can't quite remember either. I was just collecting the items with no expectation of going back there, to be honest.
Yeah, So when Glan found the flippers, I had it in the back of my mind that desert could be an option, but didn't sort of canceled it. I kind of canceled it out, and so I thought that only the first chest of swamp was open for progression.
But that was good thinking, though, Obscure. When you found that mushroom to fake powder, because we didn't think of it at first, and then I saw you going towards there. Wait, he did get the mushroom, so yeah, that's a good call there.
Yeah, I got completely stuck, and that was me miscounting desert items to miss that progression there. So that mushroom was kind of a savior, but it came way too late. I cleared out everything at that point, and I was left with sequence breaking.
I almost second guessed myself going to land mode because I looked at my menu and like, oh, I don't have the compass.
Yeah,
It's like, oh, it was on the torch and I didn't get it.
exactly.
So yeah.
Well, thank you to both of you for leading us through this confusing and interesting journey. Any final thoughts on the seed? And the
I'm going to delete it off my computer forever.
and how about the tourney and your progress through the group stages?
I'm 2-0 right now, so feeling good about that.
This was my first match, so I've got my second one tomorrow. So we'll see. I need to practice running around without any weapons.
Yeah, yes. Those darn Zoras. Definitely watch out for those guys. I would be more aggressive, but that's just kind of what I try to do when I'm over there. But yeah, good luck with the rest of the tournament.
Yeah, and yourself.
Yeah, you're both an attorney, so good luck to you as well.
Yep. And make sure to give our runners a follow. Links are in the chat, as well as follow my co-commentator, ChecksHuman, and our tracker, Samimas. And also, if you're looking for more Overworld Glitch tournament matches, we've got 2 matches tomorrow. One at 8, JC87 versus ObscureLifeForm. It's on SpeedGaming 2. And at 9 p.m., PRD Wong versus Hacksaw on SpeedGaming 4. And then in terms of SpeedGaming action, we've got a ALTTPR League match that might still be going on. That's Sphere Affinity versus the Titan Smiths. That's on SpeedGaming main. SpeedGaming 3 has Final Fantasy Randomizer, Crab Cakes versus Dengwu, and Final Fantasy 1 Randomizer on SpeedGaming 5 as well. Wote versus Web. So tune into that if it tickles your fancy. And any final thoughts, Checks?
No, thanks for co-commentating. It's been fun, and thanks for watching, everyone.